Anthropic recently built an artificial intelligence model so capable they locked it away. It's called Claude Mythos 5, and right now, access is strictly limited to a tight circle of cyber defenders and infrastructure providers working directly with the US government. Yet, if you open your browser today, you can log in and use a disguised version of that exact same neural architecture right from your living room. For years, the bottleneck in AI development was autonomy. Older models struggled to operate independently for long stretches, which kept them from executing the continuous, multi-step operations required for elite-level cybersecurity. The Mythos class architecture solved that duration problem. It features a massive leap in agentic coding proficiency, allowing it to run continuous, autonomous loops to hunt down system vulnerabilities. But a tool that excels at finding flaws to fix them is equally adept at exploiting them. To mitigate these obvious risks, Anthropic quarantined the unrestrained logic engine. They established Project Glasswing to deploy Mythos 5 exclusively to vetted, high-level government and security partners. When digital intelligence reaches this level of autonomy, it functions as a dual-use weapon. The sheer capability of the system forced developers to rethink how they distribute top-tier AI to the general public. That brings us back to what you can use today, Claude Fable 5. This is Anthropic's official solution for getting their latest technological leap into the hands of ordinary users. Beneath the branding, the codebase splits into identical twins. Fable 5 and Mythos 5 share the exact same underlying neural structure and reasoning capabilities. The only functional difference between the two models is a matter of software restriction. Fable 5 is shipped with a heavy layer of strict cyber safeguards securely locked in place. While those guardrails effectively block it from writing malicious exploit code, they leave the model's core intelligence completely unthrottled. For writing essays, analyzing complex documents, or generating code for standard applications, you are tapping into the full power of the system. We have reached a point where everyday users possess localized access to military-grade logic engines, kept safe only by a rigid wrapper of consumer-friendly ethical parameters. To understand exactly how big of a leap this neural architecture represents, we have to look at the benchmark data comparing Fable 5 to the previous top-tier model, Opus 4.8. On this radar chart, measuring agentic coding via the frontier benchmark, Fable 5 pushes outward, showing massive autonomous skill. The footprint expands with significant gains across legal analysis, multidisciplinary reasoning, and biology. For vision and complex knowledge work, Fable 5 hits the absolute outer edge. These high vision scores make reliable, sustained verification loops possible. The AI can look at the website it just built, or the slide deck it just designed, compare it to your prompt, and autonomously correct its own mistakes. This dual-gauge comparison puts it in perspective. Pushing Opus 4.8 to its maximum X-high reasoning effort maxes out the meter. But that exact same output quality is achieved by Fable 5 resting effortlessly near zero, operating on its low effort setting. The ceiling has officially dropped to the floor. What required maximum effort just months ago is now the absolute minimum baseline of performance. But there is an immediate catch to utilizing this level of intelligence. If you're on a Pro, Max, Team, or Enterprise plan, Fable 5 is included for free, but only until a hard deadline of June 22nd. On June 23rd, Anthropic will pull Fable 5 from standard subscription tiers. Access will transition entirely to a usage credit system, where you pay specifically for the volume of tokens you process. This shift comes down to raw hardware logistics. Sustaining the server capacity required to run continuous, complex reasoning loops burns a staggering amount of cash, and Anthropic simply cannot subsidize those hardware costs indefinitely. Let's look at these new usage costs. Feeding 1 million input tokens into Fable 5 balances at $10, but generating 1 million output tokens causes the cost to jump to $50. That is exactly double the operational cost of the previous Opus model. Anthropic has stated this token-based system is a temporary measure. They plan to restore Fable 5 to standard subscriptions as soon as they build out enough physical server capacity to handle the massive global demand. Until then, you have a brief window to test the system freely. Update your Claude application and type in the command slmod to access the new model today. We are entering a phase where the primary friction point for artificial intelligence is no longer whether the models are capable enough. The true bottleneck is the sheer brute force economic cost required to keep the servers running.